And let's give our sincerest condolences to the one and only neo soul icon, D'Angelo, who I absolutely was a big fan of. You already know I live for Angie Stone and a lot of the music that she was coming out with. And that's crazy. The fact that, Angie Stone and D'Angelo had a child together, and within the 6 month period, they've had to like bury both two parents. That to me would be the ultimate devastation. I don't know how I will be able to pull through with something like that if I lost my both my parents back to back. Lord willing, hopefully something like that won't happen. But yeah, that's just crazy to me how something like that went down. But nevertheless, we found out yesterday that he was privately battling pancreatic cancer, and he had passed away. He was only 51, and 51 is relatively young. And I feel like with this situation, black men, I feel like this is a time that a lot of y'all, myself included, because I'm at around the age now where I got to start getting the prostate checked and all that other stuff. Stop thinking that going to the doctor is a bad thing, because that's always kind of been in my head. My mother and my sister have always been big on reinforcing, go to the doctor. They'll even set up my appointment because they know how stubborn I can get when it comes to doctor's appointments and things. I don't know why it's a pride thing when it pertains to people of color or black men when it comes to going to the doctor, but it's just like it'll save your life, because you don't want to end up like, especially particularly men who are between the ages, I believe, of 45. Like when you're getting to that middle age period, you got to start worrying about the pancreatic cancer, the prostate cancer, like a lot of those cancerous situations that exist, high blood pressure, diabetes, all those things that exist within the black community, because based off of, like, I guess, the foods we eat and things of that nature. So with all that being said, yeah, he we found out he passed away. Nobody knew he was sick, which was shocking to hear, because I know he had the only thing I remember about D'Angelo, and I hate the sensationalist part of this, is the fact that we know he struggled with substance abuse and things of that nature. I don't think it was as bad as Raheem, when you be hearing them stories about Raheem and stuff. But that was another one who could sing down. But D'Angelo was like one of my favorites. We all know, everybody talks about how does it feel and stuff, because he was naked. I don't think he was fully naked in the video. I think they were just doing some. He had something on in there, because there was no way in hell he had that meat swinging, shooting a 14 to 16 hour 2 day shoot or 1 day shoot of a music video. There was some. I'm sure that he wasn't butt naked, but nevertheless, that's what everybody knows him for, and things of that nature. But anyway, so yeah, they said that. Oh, but here's the thing: Brown Sugar was my song. I want some of your brown sugar. That was my song back in the day. And then, of course, with Angie Stone, it was always "My sunshine has come, my sunshine, and I'm all cried out, and there's no more rain in this cloud." So it was that. That was my song. But anyway, so yeah. Now the singer, they said, is about two sons: 27-year-old Michael D'Angelo Archer the second, because that's what D'Angelo's actual government name was, is Michael Archer, and 15-year-old Morocco Archer, and a 26-year-old daughter, Imani Archer, as the mother of his first son, R&B singer Angie Stone, died tragically in a car accident at 63 in March of this year. Now, a rep for the artist released a statement to the Daily Mail, which began, "It is with profound sadness and the heaviest of hearts that I can confirm the passing of Michael D'Angelo Archer. D'Angelo passed away earlier today, October 14, 2025, in New York City. He was 51 years old. The rep indicates that there will be an official statement on the musician's passing in the coming days, along with an announcement regarding his memorial service. They wrote the following. They said, "This is a monumental loss, not only for his family and loved ones, but for the millions around the world who were touched by his revolutionary artistry. D'Angelo was a genius, a force of nature whose music shifted the landscape of soul and R&B. More importantly, he was a cherished son, brother, and friend whose absence leaves an immeasurable void." Now, the statement also said that the family are in the initial stages of immense grief, and they ask that their privacy be respected at this difficult time. Meanwhile, the family also released a statement which read, "The shining star of our family has dimmed his light for us in his life. After a prolonged and courageous battle with cancer, we are heartbroken to announce that Michael D'Angelo Archer, known to his fans around the world as D'Angelo, has been called home, departing this life today, October 14th, 2025. We are sad that he can only leave dear memories with his family, but we are eternally grateful for the legacy of extraordinarily moving music he leaves behind. We ask that you respect our privacy during this difficult time, but invite you all join us in mourning his passing while also celebrating the gift of a song that he has left for the world." And funny enough, when I went on Apple Music yesterday, they wasted no time because I was up there and they already had like a whole D'Angelo remembering D'Angelo playlist that was up there. And growing up in late '90s and the 2000s, I was a big old dirty backpack clicker, which is a term I think Wendy Williams used to always use. But that was kind of to describe the whole neo soul movement. So it was D'Angelo, it was Music Soul Child, it was Flowetry. I don't think I listened to Lettucey, but not all that much. Also who else was I? Oh, Erica Badu, Jill Scott. I was obsessed with Jill because first of all, she was from Philly, and then just the fact that she was only 2 hours away, and then just hearing that kind of Philadelphia sound that was brought in, all that soulfulness and just that feeling of like mixing, which I feel like he did. He mixed like a lot of the soul of the church and kind of brought it into more of that. Like there was like the rock and roll, and there was also the soulful stuff. So it was like deeply rooted in black music, which it's funny how today Beyonce even started trying to bring a lot of those influences into like the Cowboy Carter era and things of that nature. But D'Angelo was doing it back in the late '90s and the 2000s. So, his daughter Imani basically went on IG to pay tribute to her famous father on her own by sharing a sweet picture of him playing the guitar as she sat next to him and smiled. And other celebrities came out and gave their condolences, including Flavor Flav, Jill Scott, Missy Elliott, Screaming for Hudson, and Jamie Foxx. And he won 4 Grammys, including Best R&B Album for Voodoo in 2001 and Black Messiah in 2016. And he only put out 3 albums. I also believe that, if I'm not mistaken, Raphael Sadiq recently spoke out and said that D'Angelo was working on new music. Now, the question remains that now that he's no longer with us, should that music be released and should we hear it? But I feel like if D'Angelo doesn't give permission for the music to come out, that I feel like we should just remember him as he was, rather than y'all put this posthumous music out and then we start judging him on that. But for those who are unfamiliar with what pancreatic cancer is, it is a type of cancer that begins as a growth of cells in the pancreas. The pancreas lies behind the lower part of the stomach. It makes enzymes that help digest food and hormones that help manage blood sugar. The most common type of pancreatic cancer is pancreatic ductal. Um, Let me try to say this word: adenocarcinoma. Adenocarcinoma. Okay, I got it. Because sometimes these words can be tongue twisters. This type begins in the cells that line the ducts that carry digestive enzymes out of the pancreas. Now, pancreatic cancer rarely is found in at its early stages when the chance of curing it is greatest. This is because it often doesn't cause symptoms until after it is spread to other organs. Your healthcare team considers the extent of your pancreatic cancer when creating your treatment plan. Treatment options may include surgery, chemotherapy, radiation therapy, or you can do a combination. Now, um, y'all do well, and also in addition of to the mother of his child, Stone, he also worked with Erica Badu and Lauren Hill, and I believe also Lauren Hill did a big tribute to him and stuff as well. He also collaborated with some of the biggest names in hip hop, including Jay Z, Snoop Dogg, and Q-Tip. The star also scored Best R&B Song in 2016 for "Really Love" and Best Male R&B Vocal Performance for "Untitled How Does It Feel." The 2000 music video for Untitled How Does It Feel is also one of the most iconic from the genre, as it featured a singer fully naked while singing solo against a black background. However, the fame was not easy on the star as he became increasingly uncomfortable with his growing status as a sex symbol during that time. His last album, Black Messiah, was released after a decade of the artist being out of the public eye. The record, joint credited with his band The Vanguard, was released in December 2014 to critical acclaim and made several years' best albums list. It debuted at number 5 on the U.S. Billboard charts, in addition to number 1 on the top R&B/hip hop albums list, as it sold over 117,000 units in its first week. Now, D'Angelo also became a big hit among video game fans in 2018 as he recorded a song titled Unshaken for iconic sequel Red Dead Redemption 2, and even served as a playtester for the video game's development due to his love for the Western action adventure game series from Rockstar Games. The star also appeared to be on the verge of making a musical comeback as collaborator, as I stated earlier, Raphael Sadiq told the Rolling Stone Music Now podcast in September of 2024 that D'Angelo was working on releasing a new album. The 59-year-old Tony member said at the time, he's excited. He's working on 6 pieces right now, and he seems super excited. Meanwhile, last month, D'Angelo's son, Michael D'Angelo Archer II, aka Suavo Train, and Angie's other daughter, Diamond Stone, filed a wrongful death lawsuit in Gwinnett County, Georgia, naming the drivers involved a trucking company and even the truck's manufacturer. I guess they were going in and going after Angie Stone, and with that big crazy accident that happened with her on the road. So I don't want to get all into that stuff. We already talked about Angie Stone, but let's get into some of the tributes from the celebrities. So Jamie Foxx wrote the following. He said, I remember hearing your music for the first time. I said to myself, damn, whoever this is, they are anointed. And when I finally got a chance to see you, like everyone, when they saw the most incredible music video of our time, I was blown away. I thought to myself, I have to see this person in concert. I had my chance to see you at the House of Blues. You came out and got right down to business. Your voice was silky and flawless. I was graciously envious of your style and your swag. I was also in pure awe of your talents, roaming around on each instrument, displaying your expertise in every note and every song as I watched you command the crowd, mostly women. Me and all the guys that were with me understood the mission. It was time to let our girls enjoy this moment and not bother them. You took them on a musical journey of soul, funk, and overall artistic romance. The incredible dismount of your incredible song. How do you feel? Goes down in performance history. God put you here for a reason, and we were all lucky enough to see what God had made. That's why today real tears run down my face to hear the news that God had taken one of his special creations home. I know God doesn't make mistakes, but this one hurts like hell. Rest up, my friend. You will be missed forever, but your music and your impression will be felt for generations to come. Rest in power and beautiful music. You are one of one. Well, I thought Beyonce was one of one, but I'm joking. Then Missy Elliott went and said, rest peacefully, D'Angelo. No parent want to see their children go, but it's painful for children to see their parents go too. So child, you spelled too wrong. But anyway, so send prayers up for his son who also lost his mom this year for strength. Flavor Flav said, RIP Icon D'Angelo. Jill Scott basically said, well, she put out 2 tweets. She said, I told you a long time ago, you ain't gonna understand everything, and everything ain't meant for you nor I to understand. I never met D'Angelo, but I love him, respect him, admire his gift. This loss hurts. Love to my family that are family to him. I'm so sorry. RIP Genius. And then 2 broken heart emojis. And then posted something else and said, let me stop you now. A mutual friend shared that our beloved D'Angelo was unwell a few days ago. I sent love yesterday. I didn't know he was leaving us today. Ooh, my condolences to his family, his musical fam and fans. I'm a fan and I mourn D. Keaton and now D'Angelo. Hurts. Well, we got one more D to go. If you know what I'm saying. I think you do. But yeah, because I was like, I forgot to bring that one up too. It's like, yeah, we lost Diane Keaton. She was another one. I mean, I wasn't really familiar with a lot of her movies. The only one I knew basically was what was the first Wives Club, because I do love that movie. But I was aware of like the big icon that Diane Keaton was. But yeah, we ended up losing her. I do wonder, is she related to Michael Keaton? I gotta look that up. Or were they married? I need to look. But anyway, so then now Rogers wrote, my friend Gary Harris brought this musician named D'Angelo over to my New York City apartment. He was trying to figure out what to do with the music he brought with him. I listened to every cut, not just out of respect, but because it was smoking. At the end of the encounter, he asked me, "What should I do with it?" I remember this as if it were yesterday. I said, "Put it out. It's perfect." Being the artist he is, I guess he had to explore some ways to make it better. About a year later, I heard one of those songs on the radio. It was genius, and it was exactly what he had played for me. I know I still have the original cassette. De La Soul said, "Thank you, D'Angelo." Then we have DJ Premier said, "Such a loss to the passing of D'Angelo. We have so many great times. Gonna miss you so much. Sleep peacefully, D. Love you, King." Bootsy Collins said, "Dang it. Say it ain't so, but we just lost a friend and creator and legend. Prayers going out to his family and friends. We all love you, little bro. R.I.P." Jamela Hill said D'Angelo made 3 albums with no skips. This man is a legend. And for those of us who were in our early adulthood during that me being one of them, during that neo soul era, this one hit especially hard. Vincent, as in Vince Aries, not Vincent, the openly queer pop singer or musician. Andrew Stone and D'Angelo in the same damn year, a true loss for R&B soul music. And then I think that's pretty much all the other ones. Oh yeah, then I got 2 more. So we got one from Justin Timberlake, we got one for Beyonce. So the Justin Timberlake went on and said, which brought me to seeing this TikTok that this white dude has stated. I should have pulled that up if I remembered to do that during the thing, but nevertheless, it's going to take up too much time. So he basically paid tribute to D'Angelo, whose 3 solo albums, his debut Brown Sugar, 2000's Voodoo, and 2014's Black Messiah, reshaped the landscape of soul music and helped ignite a new era. He said, "I'll never forget hearing Brown Sugar for the first time. It changed me. You changed me," wrote Timberlake in his letter posted to Instagram stories, calling the record, yeah, you posted Instagram stories so it could dissolve in 24 hours, calling the record the most pivotal moment in establishing confidence in my own voice. For the first time, I heard a sound that reflected the sounds I grew up with, early R&B, but now it was intertwined with a modern edge. The chords in the arrangement carried a mixture of church, jazz, and funk. The harmonies delicately dancing with one another. It sat in my spirit, and it always will. He also went on to praise Voodoo as his favorite mix album of all time, saying, "The legendary players and collaborators, the sounds, the way it made colors dance around in my head. It grabbed me, it shook me, it changed me once again." And here's the thing. Now that you say that, it kind of makes me wonder, it's like, yeah, I'm starting to notice that there were some uh D'Angelo isms in a lot of the way you perform, the way you sang. And I also feel like when you had, what do you call them? The Justin Timberlake and the Tennessee Kids, and then you had D'Angelo and his band. So it kind of makes sense that, yeah, you were pretty much the spot. Okay, I did find the video. Hold on. I did find the video, so we're gonna play it because this is what the people were saying about when D'Angelo passed away, and this white dude got up in there and was talking about like how they try to whitewash a lot of the black music with the boy bands and all that other stuff. So I'm gonna add that now that I found the video. We're gonna add it to the docket, and we'll come back and we will talk. Please hold.
D'Angelo died today, and all the black people said, damn. All the white people said, I don't know who that is, because they weren't allowed to know who that was, because he released Voodoo during the golden age of our all-white boy band era. This was an exact replication of the Jackson 5, except nobody could sing, play, or dance. Black artists had to release their music under the category called urban. It was exploitative. They weren't allowed to release their music to the masses. White actors were able to steal their music and release it under genres called pop, right? It didn't matter if he was reclaiming and redefining soul music for black people in the early 2000s, if Justin Timberlake was reducing it and infantilizing it to like suburban teenage love song. The wrong time for the right star. D'Angelo was a perfectionist. When I tell you Taylor Swift will be a stain on music history, it's because I've heard Black Messiah. It's because I know that Voodoo took 3 years to make. When I tell you New Kids on the Block is just a white version of New Edition, is that like the term boy band is a white dog whistle, it's because 112, Jagged Edge, and even Boyz II Men were never able to fall into that category. Up in a small church in Virginia. I don't think he was ready for the amount of success that was thrown at him, especially in the lane that he was being thrown into. I think anyone that's really good at something isn't going to be good at being famous, but I do think he was the kryptonite to like the Max Martin AI pop takeover scam that was happening at the time. Fortunately, everyone gets more love when they're gone. I'm just hoping his music gets the resurgence that it deserves. It was 20 years ahead of its time. Original music is magic, and it's going to long outlive our Katy Perry's, Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, Sabrina, whatever the hell that is. Our Justin Bieber, our Elvis Presley, our, oh God, our, you know what I mean? Like, oh, what the hell was that? We look back and we just, either way, I'm late to church rehearsal, and I was playing his music all day. I didn't even get a chance to practice. They're going to be pissed at me. Y'all have a good night.
So all that shade he done through, but I had people in the comments that, well, a couple was saying he could speak for himself. I never listened to boy bands. I have listened to hip hop and R&B my whole life. I am not this white people. Then another one of my friends was like, the 90s and even early 2000s were a broad landscape of music genres. This white person listened to hip hop, neo soul, R&B, and house. There were no boy bands listened to in my home. And I had another person say, I love all types of music, the 90s. Another person says, the 90s and some early 2000s had some good music, especially house, whether it was commercial or underground. Well, that is definitely true. Another person said, I've been saying this ish for years. My friends never understood why I didn't like NSYNC, Backstreet, and all the rest of those carbon copy white boy bands. With that being said, that white guy spilled out the gospel. Rest easy, D'Angelo. You'll never be unsung. So yeah, I guess if it don't apply, let it fly. Like not everybody fits in that category of, that we was all up in there just listening to what MTV shoved down our damn throats. And I love the time that we're in now because we don't have to be confined to exactly what society and the industry is telling us we need to listen to. And I do believe that D'Angelo is timeless. His music was before his time. And it definitely shook up something. It was like, I'm not a religious person, whatever, but I know like that just that when D'Angelo opened his mouth, you felt his soul was singing. It wasn't even the physical being. It was the thing that was deep down in his core that just came out and it just radiated through the music. So that's what that neo soul's music was. But I mean, we had a couple of people that was doing it, but nobody was doing it quite like him. Now, last but certainly not least, let's get to what Miss Beyonce had to say in regards of the whole D'Angelo situation. So she said basically, rest in peace, Michael Eugene Archer. Not using the whole government. Known to the world of music as the inimitable D'Angelo. She wrote on her website while sharing a black and white photo of him. We thank you for your beautiful music, your voice, your proficiency on the piano, your artistry. You were the pioneer of neo soul, and that changed and transformed rhythm and blues forever. We will never forget you. What's also a story that came out that her and Aaliyah had a big old crush on him back in the day? And then, so yeah, so that's basically it. I don't think I need to squeeze any more juice out of this lemon. I think we pretty much got the point, and I'm sure that there will be more celebrities and more people that will be sharing their heartfelt stories about that we lost one of the great ones in the music industry. So rest easy, D'Angelo. You will definitely be a missing part of the music community. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story regarding how did you feel when you found out that D'Angelo passed away? I was actually on my way into the city. I was on my way to work. Well, technically the gym first, and then I go to work afterwards. And so I was in my phone or whatever, and I'm starting to see like I'm getting all these. I see this message of D'Angelo. I'm like, what? Well, one of my friends sent it to me in the group chat, and then of course, then the flooding started to happen. So yeah, I definitely want to hear from y'all. Let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below.